Well, hello. We're going to be chatting about the website maintenance today and what is WordPress website maintenance. Why is it so important that websites are being maintained? More specifically, why WordPress websites need maintenance. You might have stumbled on this video because somebody told you you need a maintenance for your website, or maybe you have a company, web development company that just built your website and they're saying you need to maintain your website. Maybe they're charging you or giving you a quotation about $150 a month. This is average for website maintenance. To be honest, this is a little bit too high. The reason why this is a little bit too high is because not all websites require maintenance every single month. But a lot of web development agencies will sell you maintenance every single month because they're going to be able to make more money on it. Tell you the truth, website or WordPress maintenance is holy grail when it comes to income for web development agencies because it's stable, it's recurring, and a lot of businesses forget that their website is being maintained and they just keep on paying the maintenance cost. To be honest, a lot of web development companies that are charging money for website maintenance, they're not really doing that much to maintain their website. In fact, most of the website maintenance services are run automatically and they're charging you $150 per month, basically for nothing. Stay tuned. In this video, we're going to be chatting all about website maintenance. It's an open discussion website, meaning that I have not prepped for this video. We're just going to be exploring WordPress maintenance and what I know about it. And we'll give you some recommendations and pointers when it comes to finding a good company for the website maintenance. I'm going to be biased here. Yes, I am biased because I have my own agency. My agency is called WebAker. We build websites, we maintain websites, and we offer a lot of different services. And website maintenance is something that really rubs me the wrong way. Even though that we offer website maintenance, I absolutely detest looking at website maintenance services done by so many other companies, including some of the large brands that claim to maintain WordPress websites and have packages that are called WordPress maintained packages. Okay, I'm not going to go into trademark names, otherwise I'm going to get in trouble. But there's a lot of hosting packages that claim to be specifically maintenance packages for WordPress website. With a lot of companies, I'm not picking on any specific company, but the large companies, all of them have that. They don't do squat. Like really bad services that they're offering. In reality, what is happening there is that they actually limit developers' access to the critical components of the website maintenance sections so that developer is not able to make updates and changes to the website. And the worst part is they don't maintain the website. They basically have this automatic update turned on. And if something happens and the website goes down, what do? They don't do anything. And I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but that's what happens time and time again. We have so many different clients that have went through this process where their website was maintained, the website died, and the hosting company said, well, you've got to hire a web developer to go through and figure out what went wrong with your website. This is standard. This is normal in a way, but they're not going to stand up and honor their maintenance. I mean, their maintenance is all written in small print that basically says that they're not responsible for anything, and their maintenance service means they're going to update plugins for you. You know what? In WordPress, there is a button called Keep My Plugins Updated, automatic update turn on. You can just turn it on WordPress, you're going to have the same effect. Plus, you're actually going to have access to be able to modify core WordPress files if something goes wrong. With the maintained websites, we have to jump through so many loops to actually be able to get hold of the core scripts that it's insanity. Basically, if the website is still kinda alive, we have to go in, download the files through a third-party plugin, unzip it on our server, and get access to the files, find the problem, fix it, and then through the same plugin, and hopefully it will work, upload it back into the maintained environment where hopefully it will install properly and will not crash completely. So websites that have problems have bad backups, and that's really important. A badly backed up WordPress website that has problems with the maintenance or scripts in it will not have a proper backup that can actually be restored. So losing website for good is a complete possibility, and that happened to a lot of clients that have worked with us. What I'm saying is that we have not lost their websites, but they came to us because they lost their websites and they actually had us rebuild the website. So all in all, what I want to say is that be really, really careful when it comes to WordPress maintenance services that are offered out there. I would not recommend going with the standard website WordPress maintenance with a standard hosting company. In my opinion, the best plans in hosting companies are the virtual server where you can install Plesk and run website this way. That's like the best way, but you need a little bit of knowledge on how to do that. The next best thing is to use something like cPanel. By the way, I absolutely don't like cPanel, but it's the next best option out there. And the last option is basically the managed WordPress or WordPress optimized hosting platforms, which usually have a lot of limitations to what you can do with them. Some of them are more open. You can actually get into the scripts, you can get into the database, and you can work with plugins and actually work with the actual script if something goes wrong. Other ones, they restrict your access and they don't do anything when the website actually goes down. Alright, so that's what's happening in the industry. That might be a little bit of a shocker for you. Not sure if that is, but we actually have a lot of clients that maintain their websites and they're on those maintenance plans with their hosting companies because they know from experience what happens when something goes bad on their website. That's how they found us, and that's why we are maintaining those websites. So, that was a lot. But let's get back to one of the most important items is the price point. $150 is too much for most of the websites. In fact, we have websites that we have built and they have not been maintained for like 3 or 4 years because the clients don't have money for it, or they just think that it's not necessary. Maybe I was bad in my marketing approach and I have not been able to relay the message that maintenance is actually important. So eventually those websites break down, and we had websites that broken down in like 2-3 years after we built them. Really awesome track record. And yeah, they were crazy outdated, and it takes a while to get them up to standards when it comes to, because WordPress goes through revisions, it goes through updates. There's like 5 or 6 plugins that need to be updated every single week. There's a lot of changes in the web world, and it's really important to stay on top of those, because if you don't, then the website goes really behind, and then it can be difficult or impossible to get it back up to the latest code and standards. The implications is that it breaks, basically, and if we cannot get it back to the latest coding standards, it can be broken for good. So that's not a good news. That's why we do WordPress maintenance. But doing maintenance once every other month or once every 3rd month for like tiny websites is absolutely fine. And I would challenge anybody to tell me why that is not fine. especially if we have proper backup process and proper approach to the website maintenance. So some things to watch out for when it comes to WordPress maintenance and what you want to look for in a good company. You want to look for a person that will be responsible for website maintenance of your website. And that is important. So if your website goes down or there's a problem, you should have a phone number that you can reach and chat to a web developer. Not customer service representative. I'm talking about chat to a web developer and get them to look at the website, and somebody who actually understands PHP script. That's going to be a really important criteria. The second item is that there has to be some kind of robust backup process and somebody who understands the backup process of websites. There's a lot of malicious scripts out there that get into the WordPress websites, and they use WordPress websites to send out spam. And a lot of them stay dormant. They don't show themselves up as malicious script for a month, because almost every single website maintenance and backup process that happens with almost every company that I've seen is that they back up the website every single day and they keep 30 copies of that website. I think it's an absolutely stupid idea, because majority of the websites, they don't have that big of they don't really change that often. They don't change every single day. If you have a website that changes every single day, you should have a very good web development team, or at least a very good web development company that looks at your website. But doing a backup once a day is not a smart idea, and retaining 30 backups is not a good idea. And here's why. Those backups will override themselves in 30 days. So the 31st day will override the backup. A lot of the scripts that infiltrate into WordPress, they stay dormant for 30 days. They're not going to activate. They're going to activate on like 60th day or 42nd day after they infiltrated into the WordPress, because they want to override the default thing that everybody is doing. They're going to override the backups so that every single backup that you have is already infected. So you will not be able to restore your website. And that's how people lose their websites as well. So it's really important to make sure that the backup process is correct. We do just one backup once a month, and that backup gets stored on our system. We just keep 3 backups. That's all that's needed, but it's 3 months of data. Like, it's 3 months. We can go back 3 months, and there is no script that I've seen so far that would actually lay there for like 3 months and then start to be active. So we can always go back and restore a website from like 2 or 3 months and have it actually live. Yeah, maybe there are some changes that we have missed, but you know what? That client did not lose their website. And that's really important. Alright, so there's so much more to talk about website maintenance. It's such a huge topic. We will be doing more videos about WordPress website maintenance. I have a separate video on my channel where I actually go through website maintenance manually and show how we maintain one of our clients' websites. You can check it out. It's a fairly lengthy video because we maintain each website manually by hand. We don't have an automatic system to do that. There's reasons for that. So if you are interested, check it out. It's a very lengthy video. It will come up here in the recommended videos. Hopefully you've learned something new. You've learned something interesting about WordPress maintenance. It's a very hot, important topic. It's important to maintain your websites. But it's important that you have the proper company that does that.